following podcast contains references to the consumption of alcohol. If you are not of legal drinking age, please do not consume alcohol. Also, if you are of legal drinking age, please drink responsibly. Hello, and welcome to Rhetorical Magic Cocktail Hour. My name's Matthew, and my favorite memory with Ryan is Pumpkin Patch Day, and only we know what that means.
And I'm Ryan, and my favorite memory with Matthew is blaring Carly Rae Jepsen's Run Away With Me at the beginning of our Colorado trip.
And this is a podcast where we talk about in-jokes that nobody else will get.
Don't explain them.
And then don't explain them. One time we went to a pumpkin patch, and we carved pumpkins to Kate Bush, I believe? Or was that a different night?
I feel like Kate Bush was a different night.
Kate Bush might have been
I feel like
the
you
night.
think I made you listen to Kate Bush way more than I've ever made you listen to Kate Bush.
I don't think you made me listen to it. I think I was going through a Kate Bush phase, and I was just like, we could listen to Kate Bush.
Pumpkin Patch Day was a good day.
Yeah.
And I hope we get to do it again soon. Although Halloween's canceled this year.
Mm-hmm. But maybe someday.
Maybe someday.
Yeah. And this is a show where we have a drink and try to be succinct. Though, today we're doing something a little different. Because we're going to be... It's the second anniversary of the show. So we're going to be doing a little director's commentary about the show. And also, on a more somber note, it is the end of Shandy Boy Summer. So we will be closing Shandy Boy Summer at the end of this episode. So save your shandies till then.
Only water.
Only water.
For the first half of this episode.
Show some respect for the Shandy Boys.
Let's hear it for the Shandy Boys.
Let's hear it for the Shandy Boys tonight on the news at 11.
Oh my gosh. We've done this for 2 years, Matthew.
It's been 2 years since we started the show. So I figured this episode gonna be a little freeform, a little jazz, a sort of open-ended discussion about the show. I thought we could kind of start the discussion with the older sibling of this podcast.
The thing my father still calls the podcast to this day.
Which is a little something we liked to call Kigurumi Wine Club. Which started, I think, didn't it start out as just like a thing we talked about doing where we just wore Kigurumis and drank wine all night?
So here's how I imagine it.
Imagine
we both
you were there.
really...
You don't have
we
to
both wanted pajamas that were very toasty warm, very cute. But neither of us wanted to willingly shell out $60 without for it to be like each of us only doing it separately.
That sounds right to me. I think we had talked about them before. Mm-hmm. And been like, wouldn't this be cool to have? But it's $60.
And then we're like, well, we could do, like, if we both did it, it's not so, like, it's less weird. Mm-hmm. And so the plan was for us to just be in Kigurumis and drink wine together.
Yeah, and I don't remember who came up with it, but it became Kigurumi Wine Club.
Yeah. Did we have the first one in my...
I want to say that we did the first and maybe only one the night you graduated from undergrad.
Yeah, in my dorm apartment. We
Mhm.
watched movies for a bit.
And we drank like the littlest bottle of wine you'll ever
The
find.
like the stutter, or I think it was like barefoot pink wine that my sister brought
Hmm.
that I had in my freezer. So they were like wine slushy.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. They were viscous. It was a prequel to the port that we had that one time.
Oh
We've
man,
drank some thick wines, y'all.
thick wine. Those wines got legs. Um,
Legs for days.
legs for days. But yeah, we bought it, and then I assume that's when we started talking, like, not that night, but, like, soon after we started talking about doing a podcast.
Yeah, I think since we're millennials, instead of saying we should start a band, we said we should start a podcast.
Let's not say that you've never said the phrase, let's start a band. There have been many a times where Matthew has been like, what instruments can you play again, Ryan? And I have to inform him again that I cannot play an instrument, nor can I sing.
In my defense, I think, say a lot of them can be experimental, where we don't actually play music and we just yell over bad music.
But the band discussion did happen pretty frequently. I also, like, never listened to podcasts until, like, grad school.
I don't think I really did until, like, maybe... I listened to some, but not, like, knowing what a podcast was. Just, like, somebody on YouTube that I liked had a podcast, and they would put episodes on YouTube. And, like, it didn't register. It's like, this is a podcast. It's just like, oh, they just did an audio thing. But, yeah.
Yeah.
So at some point, we had talked about doing a podcast, and...
Slightly before that, you told me about the McElroys.
I thought you told me about the McElroys.
I feel like you definitely were listening to the McElroys well before I was.
Okay, so here's how I remember it. I remember you talking to me about the McElroys. I vaguely knew who they were, so I pretended I knew who they were. Like, I think I had seen some Monster Factory. And I think maybe I pretended to know who they were a little bit more than I really did.
Here's how I remember it. I told you that I had started, like, skipping around and listening to certain episodes, and then you were like, yeah, the early ones are shit. Which is something that McElroys have said. That's not me, like...
No, it's canon.
That's not me being, like... That's not me shitting on the McElroys. That's them. They have said that in the past themselves. Yeah. You're like, yeah, the early ones are really rough to listen to, because, like, you listen to them, like, in order all the way through.
As I do with things.
And... you were, like, listening... I remember I would, like, text you randomly sometimes, and you'd be like, oh, yeah, I'm listening to McElroy's at, like, 1.5 speed.
I did do that. There was a point where it's just like, there are so many episodes, and I just gotta listen to them at, like, ×2 to get through all this. To get through the back catalog. But yeah.
But I feel like you were listening to them before I was.
Maybe I was. I don't know. Time's weird, man.
Because, like, I'm even trying to remember, like, when I would, like, watch Polygon stuff. Because it had to have been late. Like, I remember in grad school, I would, like, watch something that was, like, Monster Factory on, like, in my living room, on my, I think, at the time, Xbox. Like, through YouTube. And then, like, because I remember Mo would watch stuff with me sometimes if it was something he would find funny. Like, he liked watching, like, the Griffin's, like, Peacecraft series with me. Because Mo played WoW. But yeah, I could have swore you introduced me to the McElroys. Are they just, like, a weird anomaly?
Maybe it's like one of those Bearstein Bear things where it's like,
Fucking
this is a parallel
Mandala
universe
effect.
that is converged. Uh,
Oh my gosh.
but yeah, so we had heard some podcasts. um, and we had talked about doing a podcast at some point, and I don't think we immediately landed on doing Kigurumi Wine Club, if I
It
remember right.
it was up there early. I feel like what happened with Kigurumi Wine Club, and if I'm wrong, please correct me. I feel like what happened is like you had gotten audio equipment because you like to record stuff, like other things that's not just a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like talking about Kigurumi Wine Club. I think we were trying to like plan another one, and we were going to do it at your house because you had moved into your place where you were before where you are now.
Right.
And I want to say that it was just kind of like offhand, and I was like, yeah, okay. Like, we can record it. And then we started talking about, because, like, I remember somewhere I have, like, a sketch, like a physical sketch of, like, logos.
I do remember, like, trying to come up with a logo design that we both liked. I don't remember what we landed on, but
it was like a cartoonish, and I'm so glad because I do not have the artistic ability yet to pull it off. It was like you and me as like little cartoons in the Kigurumis holding like a wine bottle and a wine glass, and like my person was like very energized, and the little you was kind of more straight faced, and it said Kigurumi Wine Club on it.
Mm-hmm. Which, as you will hear later, in maybe a little special clip, that is not the vibe we had at all.
No.
Yeah.
And then yeah, we just kind of agreed on it, and then we recorded it, and then we just like sat on it forever.
We recorded it, and it was not great.
No, it wasn't.
It was definitely like a pilot that needed some work. But I think if you don't have Kigurumi Wine Club, you don't have Rhetorical Magic Cocktail Hour.
No, because after that disaster, which is honestly what it was, like it was fun. I feel like I remember having fun, hanging out and being drunk and talking. And looking back, I haven't listened to it pretty much since
we
recorded it.
I don't think you have. I think I edited it. I did like a rough edit and then texted you to be like, nope, it's not working.
I got the rough edit at one point, but it was on like an older laptop.
Oh.
And I never saved it to like a flash drive or anything because I'm not a monster. Because I remember listening to it once, and I was like, "Oh man, this is wild." But I kept trying to like figure out how to do the logo, and it was rough. But then we sat on it, and then I think that both of us were just kind of like, "I'm not comfortable putting this out."
Yeah, I think there was a moment where we just both were just like, "This isn't it," because this might be shocking to hear, but it was less thought out than any of our Rhetorical Magic episodes, and it feels like it. Like, for example, we don't introduce the show or ourselves, like, until 16 minutes into the rough edit.
That made the edit?
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, we almost start introducing it, and then we do a bunch of good goofs, but we don't say who we are or what the show is. So I think I left them in anyway. I also wasn't great at editing a show at that point. Because, I mean, I had edited, like, music I had done. Not well. But, like, I had a little bit of editing experience, but I haven't had to edit, like, a story, for lack of a better word. And it showed. But yeah, why don't we, as a treat, play a clip? Podcast part, because I think we accidentally recorded over the old part.
Oh no, did it?
Yeah, I think I rewound to the very end and we recorded over everything.
That's sad. It's fine.
That's how life works. Nothing is perfect. Sorry.
We're not here to talk about death. We're talking about our friendship today, which is alive and well.
And also the Jonas Brothers. Let us not forget why we're here today.
We need to start the fucking intro.
We're keeping all of this. I hate to be that person, but we're keeping all this. I feel like this is gold.
Jesus Christ.
I forgot about the Jonas Brothers until this very moment. But that's why we're here. It is one of their birthdays when this is coming out, if it goes as planned. It did not go as planned. But yeah, that was just sort of our feral energy. Like, it gets worse.
It's hard to believe that it gets worse. I think that one thing that we have done well is we have adapted. Mm-hmm. And I think that we have benefited from being in two separate spaces, so we're not talking over each other, or if we are, we can just cut it out a little bit.
Yeah, because if we want to jump into the beginning of this show a little bit, we did start recording in the same space.
Yeah, before we get into, like, actual recording, though, can we talk about, like, how we started taking it way more seriously the second time around?
I think that first one was, like, the jump into, like, the ice-cold water that shocked our system is like, oh, you can't just sit there and talk and it be fine. You have to have, like, somewhat of a plan.
Mm-hmm. I remember we had a pre-prod meeting in the coffee shop.
Yeah.
Where, and God, I wish I had that piece of paper, because we had, like, a bunch of, like, names that we were trying to figure out of, like, I think that was, like, the most of it was trying to figure out what to call ourselves. Because Kigurumi Wine Club was so bad.
Yeah.
That we did not want to keep it.
I think we also weren't sure if the word Kigurumi was trademarked or not, so we weren't sure if we could actually say Kigurumi.
Yeah.
Was also,
and also I think that we're gonna get tired of drinking wine all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Wine, like, pigeonholed us too much. Not to say that we drink cocktails every week.
Not that we drank the same drink for the entire summer.
Oh, man. I'm not changing the name again. We're branded, bud.
Yeah.
This is all we got. But no, I definitely remember, like, that had much more of, like, a serious, like, okay, this is something that we actually want to do.
Mm-hmm.
We have to do it better.
Yeah. If we want to do it, we need to do it at least to the best of our abilities at that point.
I don't remember recording the first episode.
What was the first? I remember bits of the first. So we recorded 2 episodes in a night. Mm-hmm. I remember bits of it, but yeah, I don't. A lot of the times we record and then we hit stop on the record and it's just like, what did I just say?
Yes, and I think that's partially the alcohol. And when we were recording in the same space, we definitely don't stop drinking after we record.
Yeah. There were... Oh, I just remembered. Do you remember we had an extra segment originally planned for the show? Do you remember what that segment was?
Is this the first piece of trivia?
I don't think I have it. I did look up some trivia that I was going to quiz Ryan on later. I don't think that's part of the trivia. That's just the thing that I just remembered.
An extra segment that we were going to do.
Like, we had planned a segment, and then we were just like, nope, we're not doing that.
I don't. What was it?
We were going to try hangover cures the next day. Like, I had bought everything for oh, what is it, like a prairie oyster, where it's like Worcestershire and Tabasco and eggs.
Like raw egg.
Yeah, raw egg, and we like the I think the original concept was like the main show was going to be us getting drunk, and then the next day we were going to record hungover us trying a hangover cure. And if I remember right, I don't think I was really that hungover the next day.
I feel like I definitely was.
But at the same time, it's just like, I don't want to record anything right now.
Now that you said it, I do remember. Also, bizarre choice that you picked eggs.
I think I wanted to get it out of the way. Because Matthew's telling me no like eggs. Just like raw eggs. Or not necessarily like just straight up eggs. But yeah. But yeah, I think that concept came up in the pre-prod meeting.
The only thing that I remember from the first episode is me telling you that if you took out me saying that Thick Thor was Zaddy, which is not even like slang that I've really used before, and it definitely wasn't slang that I continued to use after, except for referencing when I once said on a podcast that Thick Thor is Zaddy. I do remember threatening to sue you if you cut that. And I mean, it made the episode, so there wasn't an issue.
I mean, I didn't want to get sued.
Because the first episode was quizzes, wasn't it? Like, kind of like a get to know us.
Yeah, I don't like remember specifics. I just remember that we kept getting the same results on every quiz except for like one. Mm-hmm. And I do remember kind of getting frustrated. It's like, we need to get a different one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I remember that too. And then the second episode we recorded was the cryptids, which was
a lesson in hubris.
20 minutes. I do like that. I feel like, especially in the beginning, our podcast was kind of like, let's try out a bunch of different podcast styles and then see which one we like. And then we just kept trying out different types. Mm-hmm. And then kind of landed on, most consistently, we watch movies and then poorly talk about them.
Yeah. Well, I don't think our strong suit is presenting like a cryptid or an alien story.
Presenting solid information is just not good for us. We don't have the...
I don't think, personally, I have, like, the preparation skills needed to, like, research and retain information.
Me neither.
To present it in an interesting way.
Yeah.
But yeah. I mean, we've tried it twice. Well, I guess technically 3 times, because the aliens got split in half because of Cameo.
Yeah, and we'll probably try it again at some point, because we'll be like, we've learned. I will say Aliens is better than
cryptids.
Than cryptids.
I think another issue was mid-recording session we changed how the cryptid episode was structured. Do you remember that? Because I think originally we were either going to just each present 1 or 2. Mm-hmm. And then at some point we were like, no, we need to do a local one and like a famous one. And I think that was like mid-record where we were like, let's take a pause so Matthew can look up a local.
Okay, yeah, I kind of remember that now.
I think the actual recording session was maybe like 45 minutes, but a lot of that was me looking up the spook light.
Oh, man. Yeah, no, that one was definitely rough. I feel like we learned a little bit, and I feel like we did better with aliens. We at least both came prepared-ish to talk about both aspects that we were going to cover. Yeah, the first recording session was just rough. And then that's another. We sat on that one for a while too.
Yes, we did, because I found at some point we had discussed, oh, we need a trailer. So I put together a trailer
that I never used.
Well, because it says the wrong date. Which leads us to our first trivia. When was this originally supposed to go out? According to that trailer.
I'm going to say that originally we said we were going to do it on the 15th of every month.
Our first show, according to that trailer, was supposed to go out August 1st, 2019. And then we set on it till April 10th, 2019.
April 10th?
Or not April, September, sorry.
I was going to say, like, that. This is not the 2-year anniversary, but...
No, September 10th. So we basically sat on it for a month, and I think there was just
we sat on it for a month, and then I just posted it.
Yeah, I think there was a point where you were just like, we just need to post it.
And then you're like, okay, yeah, and then I think that I was trying to, like, get you to, like, okay, just pick a day, and then we just never did. And so I just posted it, and then I got a text from you, did the first episode go out? Which I don't know. I'm not sure how you knew.
I don't know how I knew either.
I might have texted you that no, because I definitely feel like it was like a surprise to you, and you're like, did the first episode go out?
Did we have it set up to where it showed that the show existed, we just didn't have any episodes out? Because I might have subscribed to it, and then it just showed up in the feed. I think maybe that's what happened, and I was just like, what? Yeah. Which, I mean, it's not a bad thing. It needed to happen.
It did. And I just did it. Because I think I got to a point in my head, I was like, we're going to sit on this for another year, and then we're just going to have to record a whole new episode because nobody's going to understand, like, why Thick Thor is funny.
Yeah. But, yeah. So, yeah, we've grown. I feel like we really... I feel like the one where we hit our stride is the Mr. Bean episode, where I tricked you into watching Mr. Bean.
Yeah. Was that our first movie? No, because we did Twilight before that, didn't we? Twilight was, like, something weird happened with Twilight, didn't it? No, Twilight was almost a...
We recorded a Twilight episode. Half of the audio of a Twilight episode. Mm-hmm. I think I did not understand, because I had recorded before on this mixer that I bought, but I wasn't used to it, so I forgot that you had to hit record on both tracks to record both tracks. And I think I hit your audio, but not mine. So I was just like, there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, so the Lost Twilight episode, which we ended up redoing a year later. Mm-hmm. So Mr. Bean was technically our first full film analysis, wasn't it?
That was released, yeah. And what a film it is. But I feel like I feel like our dynamic in that one is kind of, we're more comfortable with recording. Mm-hmm. So the dynamic's a little better. But yeah.
I definitely would agree. I feel like Mr. Bean, even though it was a horrendous movie, I feel like it's definitely when we started picking up our stride. I agree with you.
Yeah.
I also feel like it's when, I don't know. I was gonna say, I feel like that's when, like, the title started getting funnier, but I feel like there were a couple of funny ones early on.
Oh. No, that's right. Because the fourth one, or no, the third one is the one with all the segments, and that one was bad. I think that's...
The episode was bad. The title made sense.
The title made sense with what was going on in the episode. Because, yeah, we recorded the segments and Twilight in the same night. Mm-hmm. But segments was the only one that was quote-unquote usable. But yeah, I feel like after that we kind of figured out what we were doing with it.
Yeah, I would
So,
definitely agree. We figured out what we were doing, and we'd kind of picked our voice at that point too. I feel like it started getting more consistent after Mr. Bean.
hmm it also started getting longer after Mr. Bean.
It did. It
Because I
did.
think the one immediately after that is like twice the length.
Yeah. I was like, then we get to a point of contention.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I feel like. I don't feel like it was really that contentious,
No.
but it maybe seemed like it. But yeah.
My Chemical Romance.
My Chemical Romance. What a finale.
What a way to start a year.
Yeah. So, at the risk of going through just like every episode, let's do it this way. Is there one in particular that sticks out in your mind as like this is the peak show?
Peak show. Let us see.
Because there are definitely some that I read the title and I'm just like, what is this?
Which one do you not remember? I want to see if I'm able to remember what we talked about. Because that's what Matthew does the editing and I do the copy.
Mm-hmm.
And I typically try. I've definitely had weeks where I'm just like, I cannot come up with a fucking title for this episode. What should I call it?
And that's how you get ones that are like untitled playlist episodes. The one I'm thinking of is A Polite Poltergeist. Because
A Polite Poltergeist.
I always think that's the ghost hunters one, but I don't think it is.
No, A Polite Poltergeist is the one where we did like sleepover games, isn't it? Nope.
Oh, it's hypotheticals.
Wasn't that in sleepover games?
Was that sleepover games? I don't know. Did we even do the show?
What number is that?
11? It just says...
I feel like that's one of our most popular episodes.
Yeah, and it's one that I don't understand why it's one of our most popular episodes.
11?
Yeah, because for some reason, the ones that are titled Spooky do better.
People like spooky shit. Jesus, A Polite Poltergeist.
It's gotta be sleepover games, because I don't know what other one would be.
In the first page, there's one that's literally called something in sleepover games. Nightmare scenarios and sleepover games. That's where we did the hypotheticals. A Polite Poltergeist, is that the one where we talked about ghost hunters? No, that was socially distanced ghost hunting.
I think Polite Poltergeist is just hypotheticals. I think sleepover games is Would You Rather.
Maybe. Yeah.
Maybe. I couldn't tell you, though, because those are both episodes that have exited my mind. I put them out to get posted, and they left the building. But is there... which one is your... like, sticks out in your mind as a good one?
I feel like my...
Or, like, one you would be proud to show people. Maybe.
I'm having trouble because, again, when we record these, I tend to be some level of inebriated.
Mm-hmm.
So, not all of them
Are ringing bells.
are ringing bells. I think Sonic the Hedgehog was probably a good one. I don't think I would show it to people, but I think that I remember having a lot of fun with that one.
Mm-hmm. I think we call for some good... Is that the one where we call for Tom Hopper's head on Sonic's body?
That is the one where we call for Tom Hopper's head on Sonic's body.
One that sticks out to me, and I feel like it's a sleeper, is the Pride and Prejudice one.
I feel like out of the two of us, you're the only one that feels that way. I feel like it's not bad. I don't think it's a bad episode, but I don't think that it's one of our stellar ones. I personally think that our Twilight episode is better.
See, I feel the opposite because I had watched Twilight a year before and did not remember anything about it. And I was just kind of talking out my ass. So, and I think I know the answer to this, but what's one where you think about it and it's just like, oh, why did we do that?
I will mention one that is not really, that wasn't in our control, but I don't feel like it's aged well, and that's Duality of Daddies.
Yeah.
Just because we tied ourselves to a brand where, like, issues have sprung from it since.
Mm-hmm. For me, another one is the Little Fires Everywhere episode. Because I don't think we thought about having to talk about social issues while inebriated.
Yeah, yes. I think that our issue with that is very much the people who should be critiquing that show are not two white people who are drunk and run a podcast where they usually crack jokes.
Yeah. It wasn't right for the vibe.
Just because it's a piece of media that we enjoyed doesn't mean that it's something that we need to talk about on the show. Because it doesn't... And I actually, full disclosure, I never finished the series.
I don't think I did either. I think I watched the two that we talked about and never got back. Because I think the reason... I want to say I suggested it, and the reason was because I liked the book.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. It was not... It was a growing moment where we're figuring out what and what didn't work on the show.
It was, and I think that was really pivotal, though, because it made us look at, like, okay, what media do we want to be analyzing? Because since then, we've not picked something that has been super serious, or something that couldn't be taken lightly, you know? Like, Pride and Prejudice isn't like a comedy, but it's something that we can still make fun of.
Yeah. Sonic the Hedgehog can be goofed on. Although I think we kind of skirted that line with Demon House. Demon House kind of... It does some things that aren't great in it.
With Demon House, I took issue with the subject matter and how they portrayed it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think that we touched on that stuff in a way that was, like, making light of or...
Yeah, I think
mocking.
I think we realized I feel like we realized the content merited a little more caution with the goofs.
Yeah, and at that point, too, and it's not that we didn't goof on aspects of the documentary.
It's just we didn't goof on
like serious, the content that was dealing with like the deeper issues and kind of skirting over and disregarding mental health and other things, which I think is it's another growth moment. I mean, we didn't take it lightly, but we didn't just like omit that completely. Like, we still brought it up and we're like, this is gross.
Yeah.
And not how it should have been handled at all.
Yeah. So on that note, how would you feel about doing some trivia?
I would love to do some trivia. What do you got? I'm here for it.
So I picked out 10 questions. We've already done one of them, so we got 9 left. I don't know that I'm going to do all 9.
Okay.
But, so.
Welcome to this part of the podcast where Ryan proves that she knows nothing about anything, and this is all media she put out.
In Ryan's defense, Matthew had to listen to episodes to get this trivia, because he did not remember it. So, what are our ranger names?
Oh, man. Uh,
Right out the gate.
um, yours was like, I want to say yours was like Duke something. Duke
Nope.
Pine.
No.
Was I Aspen?
Uh-huh.
Aspen Winters.
Nope.
I was Aspen Pines, and you were Cedar Rapids, Michigan.
Pure Michigan. Yours is not that far off.
What is it?
Yours is Aspen Pointers.
Aspen Pointers. Okay.
And then
I'm sorry, I don't remember what yours is.
mine was Juniper Parks.
Juniper
I
Parks.
said it like that every time.
Oh man, that's something we should touch on too. Originally, when we were planning on doing the favorites, and that's one goof that we've not held up, because we were going to do the favorites and then never acknowledge them.
Yeah.
It definitely just kickstarts, like, we always acknowledge it, and like it makes us snowball into different things.
I feel like, yeah, it feels weird as a listener to be like, here's a bit of information. Now here's this over here. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It feels weird in the ear holes.
But yeah, especially in those early days, we were trying very hard to like, and I'm so and so. We were also going to do different names for every episode. We were going to pull name generators, and that fell off pretty quick too.
Yeah, I think I forgot that we were even going to do that. But yeah, so you're Aspen Pointers and I'm Juniper Parks. What's the first episode that has a Shandy appearance?
I know that it's something Shandy Boy. Yeah?
No.
No. Oh no.
I will say, it was earlier than I remember it being.
Video Games for Dogs. Final answer.
No, it was episode 10, Roses times 5.
We did Roses that early?
Yep.
I think that that's another thing that my brain doesn't process things
Like when
so well.
things happened.
And it got worse when we started putting out 2 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Because
yeah,
we went
we
from
just did
having
one.
12 episodes to having 3 times that in the span of a year.
Yeah. It's wild how
I
time
was close
flies.
though. I was only 2 off.
What were our Myers-Briggs personality types?
It was the same, wasn't it?
Was it?
Yes, we were both INTP? INFJ.
Nope.
INTJ.
Nope.
INFP.
Yep. We were both mediators. Because, yeah, I remember being like, there's no way we got the same one. And then you said something about mediators you might know. It's like, what?
I do like that that's been a pretty consistent goof, though, and it's
we're
not
the same
something that we
person.
plan. Like, it
No,
just keeps happening.
happens. Yeah. Let's see. This is a fun little behind-the-scenes trivia piece.
Okay.
What episode did I have to re-record all my audio for? Because there's one where I had a delay effect on my voice, and it was unlistenable. So I just went in and re-recorded it.
Was it the Twilight movie that got put out?
No, it wasn't that one. No, because that was another... Twilight, we did do...
Demon House. The first time we mentioned Demon House, which was in... Sonic? No. It wasn't that late.
It's earlier than that.
But it is because we mentioned Demon House, yes?
No. The Demon House issue was a different time.
Dang it.
That time I knew my audio was not going to work, so I just recorded it through my headset and it sounded like trash.
1 Year Baby, episode 13.
Nope. But you're getting closer.
Higher or lower?
Lower.
Bigger number or smaller number?
Smaller.
Okay.
But yeah, could you see me doing like is it higher if it's smaller or is it lower if it's smaller?
Oh, man. Did I already say socially distant ghost hunting?
No, but that's not it.
Damn it. Video games for dogs.
Nope. You did say that one already.
Damn it. Roses?
Yep.
Okay.
That's a big one. So the Shandy Boy energy you're hearing in that is fake. That is sober Matthew re-recording drunk Matthew's audio.
Yeah, because I guess you had what you said with the audio. It was just, like, behind.
It was, there was, like, a delay effect on my voice. So it's be like, I would speak, but you would hear, like, a echo. But it was, like, a real choppy echo. So what I did was I just put it in my ear. And as I was speaking in my ear, I would just repeat what I was saying. And I tried to mimic the energy. So I feel like I did okay. There's points where it sounds weird. Like, it sounds like I'm not speaking to you, but I'm talking. If that makes sense.
Yeah. I definitely get that.
Let's wrap it up with a big one.
Okay. I've not gotten any of these right, have I?
You got Aspen.
I got a fourth of it right.
This one might be easy. What did you name James Marsden's character in Sonic the Hedgehog?
Dan the Donut Man?
You got one.
Hooray!
Woo! Yep. So that was Rhetorical Magic Trivia.
That was fun. Thank you for pulling those for me. It was kind of nice getting to think back. I will go listen to a polite poltergeist because I have no idea what we talked about. It is hypotheticals. Ryan has a plan for the apocalypse and Matthew will follow along. As long as he gets a handcrafted sword from Ryan's dad.
I do remember that one. I remember is that the one where the hypotheticals got like real weird and we were just like, what are these questions?
I think it was.
Where it's like, would you rather not be able to walk or would you rather like not be able to swallow or something like that?
Yeah, there were definitely some like strange ones.
Oh no, that was the would you rather because that's why it was nightmarish scenarios.
Yeah.
I don't know. They're the same episode.
Oh, man.
Okay, so now we're going to go to a quick hydration station.
Yes, good.
And afterwards, we're going to do something a little special. We're going to do the Shandy Boy Summer closing ceremonies. Hydration Station. Did we do Hydration Station or did we just say we were going to it?
We're going to it. And that was Hydration Station.
Jokes that are gonna get cut. Okay. Hydration Station. We who are gathered here today and who are listening call into order the closing ceremonies of Shandy Boy Summer. Let us hear the call of the Shandy Boy horn to begin the occasion. Now that the Shandy Boy horn has rung out, let us crack open the final cold ones of Shandy Boy Summer. Now we will begin the readings.
On Shandy Boy Summer's past. Time marches forward. Another Shandy Boy Summer has passed, much as when Weiss beer and lemonade are combined to make something new. So too are we made new, by the Shandy Boy summers that we have lived. As these new beings, we move onward, changed, not for better, not for worse. Different than we were, and different than we will be. For time passes, ever flowing, ever present. In this stream, we swim onwards, we live.
As days begin to shorten and leaves begin to change, so too must the Shandy Boy be on their way. The air begins to cool from summer's steady heat, and the Shandy Boy ends their time of play. Over the horizon, off to distant shores, the Shandy Boy returns to lands of slumber. Knowing as they do, they'll return anew, after autumn leaves and snow and thunder. Life is full of unanswered questions. What is the meaning of it all? What does the future hold? What the hell is on Joey's head? Shandy Boy's summer is a time unshackled from these questions. It is a time that says, think not on that which you do not have, and take time to appreciate the things you do. It is a time not to dwell on the past or fret about the future, but instead to live in the present. As this time of Shandy Boy's summer draws to a close, remember the lessons that they teach us. Do not weigh yourself down with unnecessary worry or angst. Do not dwell on what isn't or what may come. Instead, live as the Shandy Boys do, positively in the present.
Now we draw Shandy Boy Summer to a close with the final official sip of Shandy Boy Summer. Shandy Boy Summer has officially concluded.
Okay, so that was a beautiful, touching, vaguely religious ceremony. And yeah, 2 years. Oof.
Here's to 2 more, bud.
2 more years. If for some reason you liked this, just us talking about us, you can follow us on social media at Rhetorical Magic on everything. I'm at RMCHMatt. Sometimes I comment in Twitch streams, so maybe you'll see me. I don't know. Maybe you like the same things I do. And Ryan's at...
I'm at Queer Mothra.
Yeah. So, yep. That's Shandy Boy Summer's over. Time for
Hot Witch Fall.
Yeah, Hot Witch Fall. There we go. I could not think of anything for fall to be.
Wait. I don't like the word fall. Hot Witch Autumn.
Hot Witch Autumn. That just sounds like a witch that's got it all together named Autumn.
God, I want
I
to
like
meet
that.
her. I almost
Yep.
dated somebody named Autumn.
Did you date somebody named Summer beforehand for
No.
500 days?
No.
Are you Joseph Gordon-Levitt?
No, thank God.
It's too late for goofs. We're closing the episode. Jokes that are gonna get cut. So be good to one another. Get masked. Get vaxxed is what I meant to say, and wear masks. Or a mask while you're getting vaxxed. Be good to one another, and, like we say at the end of every episode,
Clink, clink.
yeah, let me get it open. While we have this little bit, is this too depressing?
No, I think it's funny.
Is it funny to people who did not grow up going to Catholic church?
I don't know what else we would do, and I don't want to do anything else. I think it's funny to me, and I feel like that's what's most important.
Yeah.